Hello, I'm Reverend Michael Mugford, and I'm part of the ministry team at Cole Harbour Woodside United Church, along with the Reverend Krista Elizabeth Wynne. A couple of years ago, my youngest child said to me that I was woke. And while it felt like a compliment, I really didn't know what the word meant. And almost embarrassingly, I had to ask, was that a good thing or a bad thing? They assured me it was a good thing to be woke in their mind, and in the mind of those they associated with. So, hey, I'm woke. Recently, I went looking for and found a good definition of that term because I am hearing it in a different connotation lately than I had originally. So, according to Wikipedia, it refers to, quote, an awareness about racial prejudice and discrimination, an awareness of other issues of social inequality, for instance, regarding gender and sexual orientation. It has also been used as a term for left-wing political movements and perspectives which emphasize the identity politics of people of color, LGBT people, and women, end quote. So, with that in mind, I will continue to feel privileged that my kids see me as woke, even if it is something that some would feel would be negative in their minds. Author Christy Thomas, in an article entitled Am I Woke?, on the Pathos Progressive Christian blog site, wrote about being careful to trumpet wokeness. And I thought that's a good caution because I can, as a white, heterosexual, cis-gendered, Protestant, middle-income male, truly only be woke. Am I that way because my privilege allows me to garner that position in our society? Because I choose to ally with those with whom society has designated to be kept in a particular bracket or place by stereotype, by income, by ethnic background, by sexual identity. I can't know what that is like, but I can name it as wrong when people are damaged down to the depth of their personhood, when they are cast aside from the human family because of those parts of who they are. And I believe that is outside the vision that God in Christ has offered for the world. It's hard enough for us to be human. And it's hard to see what our culture has done to the cultures, the language, the identity, and the humanity of others. So, I must stand in commonality with those who have been and continue to be victims of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia. And from my privilege, lend my voice and my action to the call and cry for change. We can't change the past, but we live for change in the present, and we live in hope for a better future. Christy Thomas writes that the desire to hold power against change is totally antithetic to the gospel. The gospel, which is all about giving up power, all about laying down our lives for the non-powerful. That's what Jesus was about. Jesus' gospel was not about protecting all that we have, but rather giving up all, even our lives, if it means that we are going to serve others rather than ourselves. And so, like Christy Thomas, I wonder if I am woke or merely awakening. It isn't easy. And if it truly was worth anything, and I believe anything worth anything should not be easy, then I need to continue to struggle and to try and to learn. It makes me shudder when I hear people talk about their experiences as LGBTQIA plus individuals. I weep when I read of more children's remains being located at former residential schools. And I am drained by story after story of people's experiences of systemic racism and so forth. I, however, have absolutely no understanding, no experience of it myself, simply because my gender and my whiteness don't lend me to that. I cannot, nor will I any longer deny that privilege that is in who I am. I am woke doesn't mean that I am better. It means I have an awareness. And I have learned that I have a responsibility to shut up and listen instead of always talking. To listen to the voices who live the oppressive nature of our society. And to join myself with the gospel of Christ. That doesn't ask us, it requires us to stand with, stand behind, stand beside, stand wherever I am asked to stand with those who live in oppression, discrimination, and recognize, as Christy Thomas wrote, that I am awakening. And even as I am awakening, I do swim in privilege, and it's easy to get lost in it. And it would be silly for me to deny it. But that's my task. I think that's our task. Those are just some thoughts that I've had for the week. Peace.